Hey everyone, it is day number 16, pattern number 16 of my Granny Square Challenge. And today we are going to do Grandma's Granny Square. This is a big one. It is about 9.5 inches wide without stretching it. And we pretty much follow Grandma's pattern until we go rogue on a different round because this would not have ended up square. So there is one round in this pattern where we are not going to do what the pattern says to do. So Grandma, I am sorry about that, but I just had to fix it. All right, so let's get started. I had to zoom out to fit the whole square in, so now I got to resituate the camera, and I will be right back. All right, so let's do this. I'm going to use some Caron Simply Soft that I picked up at the thrift store for $1. It's a really pretty heather gray color and a 5mm hook, but you can use whatever yarn and whatever hook that you like. So to begin this Granny Square, Grandma's Granny Square, we're going to chain 8. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. And then we're going to slip stitch to form a circle. And then we're going to chain up 3. And that chain of 3 is going to count as a double crochet. You're going to place 15 more double crochets into the circle to give us a total of 16 double crochets for round number 1. So you work on yours, and I will be right back when I get my 16 in place. Okay, so I have my 16, and I'm going to slip stitch to the top chain of our chain 3. And then chain up 3, and in that very same stitch that we joined to, we're going to do a double crochet. So that gives us 2. And then in each and every stitch all the way around the circle, we're going to put 2 double crochets. And when you get to the end, you should have 32 double crochets, and that includes your chain 3. So I will meet you back when you finish the round. All right, so we've made it back, and we're going to slip stitch to the top of our chain 3. And we're ready for round 3. So you're going to take a deep breath and get ready to do a lot of work. You're going to chain 3. That counts as a double crochet. And in the very next stitch, we're going to do a popcorn stitch. And a popcorn stitch is 5 double crochets. So put 5 double crochets into this stitch. That's 2, 3, 4, and 5. Now you're going to take your hook out, don't lose that loop, and come back over here. Don't do your chain, but the very first stitch of the 5 in that stitch, and pick up that stitch. Grab your loop again and pull it through. Whoops, without splitting the yarn. Okay, pull it through and then lock it in place. Then the next stitch, you're going to do a double crochet. And in the next stitch, a popcorn. So that is 5 double crochets. That's 1, 2, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Come back over to the first stitch. Don't get that double crochet confused with it. Go through, pick up your loop, pull it through, and fasten it in place. And then the very next stitch is a double crochet, and then a popcorn. So you can do that all the way around, and you should end with the popcorn stitch because our first one was a chain, which is a double crochet. So you work on yours, I'll work on mine, and we'll meet up when we get finished. So for round 4, we're going to chain 1 and single crochet into the same stitch that we just slip stitched into. That would be considered our first double crochet. Then we're going to chain 2 and put a single crochet into the next double crochet, skipping the popcorn stitch. Chain 2, skip the popcorn, and do a single crochet into the double. And that is your repeat for this entire round. Chain 2 and a single crochet into the double crochet. And I'll meet you when I get finished with this round. Okay, when you get to the end, you're going to chain 2 and slip stitch into the first single crochet that we did on that round. Okay, so your work is going to have a little bit of a pucker in it, kind of looking like a cup. It's supposed to. It will flatten out, so don't be alarmed if that happens. Okay, so for round 5, you're going to chain 1, you're going to slip stitch into the chain 2 space, and then chain 3, and put 2 more double crochets in that space. Okay, you're going to chain 1 and go to the next chain 2 space and do 3 double crochets. Chain 1 and move over to the next chain 2 space and do 3 double crochets. And you'll do that all the way around till you meet up at the beginning of your round with the 3 double crochet cluster, chain 1, and then moving over to the next chain 2 space and doing 3 more double crochets. So I will meet you there when we get to the end of this round. Okay, this round ending is a little different. We're not going to slip stitch. In place of a slip stitch, you're going to do your chain 1, and then you're going to come over to the top of the chain 3, and you're going to do a single crochet. That's how we're going to connect. So this is what you should be looking like now. And you'll see here why that single crochet is really important instead of a slip stitch. I need to take a drink. Bear with me. Okay, so this is round 6, and you're going to chain 3 and do 2 double crochets in this same space here. Doing that single crochet, this looks less awkward than if you had done a slip stitch. And that is the first half of a corner. And we're going to chain 1 and put 3 double crochets in each of the next 3 chain 1 spaces. So 3 double crochets and a chain 1 and 3 double crochets and a chain 1 and 3 double crochets and a chain 1, and then we're going to do 3 double crochets chain 3, 1, 2, 3, we don't get to do that very often, and then put 3 double crochets in that same space. So 1, 2, and 3, and then it's chain 1, 3 double crochets, chain 1, 3 double crochets in the next 3 chain 1 spaces, and then you make another corner, which is 3 double crochets, chain 3, 3 double crochets. So work your way around and we'll meet back on this end. And it connects different on this one than the slip stitch as well. Okay, so when you get back to that first corner, which is your last corner, you have your beginning 3 double crochets and the 3 that you just did. You're going to chain 1, and then you're going to do a half double crochet into the top of that chain 3 to connect your space. Okay, so this is how we look now. And I'm looking at this, and I'm reading ahead on Grandma's pattern, and I'm going, we're not going to end with a square square. And I want a really square square. So this is where I decided to go rogue and not follow Grandma's pattern. Now, if you want to follow Grandma's pattern, it is 3 double crochets in each chain space with the chain 1 in between, and each corner is 3 double crochets, chain 3, 3 double crochets. That's Grandma's pattern. All right, so we have attached with our half double crochet, and round 7 is the round where we go rogue. So we are going to chain 3, 4, 2, 3, 4, chain 4 for a triple crochet, and put 2 more triple crochets in this same space. That's 1 and 2. That is the first half of your corner. Chain 1, and in the next chain 1 space, do a double crochet. And do 2 more double crochets in that same space. Chain 1, come over to the next space and do 3 half double crochets. That's 2 and 3. Chain 1, come over to the next space and do 3 half double crochets. That's 2 and 3. Chain 1, come over to the next space and do 3 double crochets. That's 1, 2, and 3. Chain 1, and we're at a corner, so we're going to do 3 triple crochets. That's 1, 2, and 3. chain 3, and do 3 more triple crochets in that same space. That's 1, 2, and 3, chain 1, and then you're going to do 3 doubles, chain 1, 3 half doubles, chain 1, 3 half doubles, chain 1, 3 doubles, chain 1, and then you're in another corner for your triples. So you're going to do that all the way around, and I'll meet you when we get to the other side. Okay, so I've made it back to my beginning corner, and I'm doing my 3 triple crochets. And we are going to connect on with a chain 1 and a half double crochet in the top 1, 2, 3, 4 of our chain 4, like so. And then for round 8 we are going to chain 3 and do 2 double crochets in that spot. And then we're going to chain 1 and do 3 double crochets in each of our chain 1 spaces. And when we get to our corners, it is 3 double crochets, chain 3, 3 double crochets. So I guess I should have showed you how that looked. Give me a second here. Chain 1. Okay. So going rogue on row 7 with our triples and our half doubles versus just double crochets all the way around help to really square this up a lot, and it's only going to get better as we go with the next few rounds. So continue with round 8, 3 double crochets in each chain 1 space and a chain 1 in between, and in your corners it is 3 double crochets, chain 3, 3 double crochets, and I will meet you back at the end of the round. So I've made it to the end of round 8, and we're going to chain 1 and half double crochet into the top of our chain 3 from our beginning of the round. In round 9, you are going to chain 3 and do 2 more double crochets into the same space in the corner here. That's going to give us half a corner. Then you will do 1 double crochet in the next 3 spaces, or excuse me, double crochet stitches. Oh my goodness. That's 1, 2, and 3, and then you're going to put a double crochet into the chain space and a double crochet in the next 3 stitches. And then into the chain space. So you will repeat that all the way across to the end of the row, and when you get to the corner, it is 3 double crochets, chain 3, 3 double crochets, and then you start all over again, just like this round, with a double crochet in each stitch and each chain space. And I will meet you back when we make it around to the end of the round. Okay, so at the end of round 9, it is back to business as usual, where you just slip stitch into the top of your chain 3 to connect the row. So this is how, well, Business as usual to connect the row, but you got to chain 3 first and then do the slip stitch. I'm getting tired. Alright, so this is how you should be looking so far. Looking pretty cool, Grandma. I have to thank you for this great pattern, even though I had to go rogue on a round. Alright, so the next round, you are going to chain 1 and do a single crochet into that same spot that you're in. And you're going to do a single crochet in each stitch all the way around. And when you get to the corner, it is going to be 3 single crochets. No chains or anything, just 3 single crochets in each corner. Be thankful that you guys don't have to, that I edit this and you don't have to sit there and watch every single stitch. Because you'd be here for a long time. This one's a big square. But big is nice, because then you don't need as many to put together to make an afghan. Like this size square, I think if you'd made like 4 wide by 5 long, so 20 of these squares, stitched them together and did about a 3-inch border all the way around, it would be perfect. Perfect size. But you could always go bigger and, you know, hey, make it big enough to cover a king-size bed. That's a lot of work. And unfortunately, there's just too many people out there that don't appreciate the time, the effort, and the work that goes into crocheting or knitting or any type of craft. They just don't realize. But that's okay. That's okay. We know what it is, and we do it because we love to do it. Okay, so round 10 brought us to the end, and we are still about 9.5 inches. Looks pretty square since we went rogue. And that's Grandma's square. Very pretty. You're very talented, Grandma. So, if you've made it this far into the video, then you should know that if you click right over here, right there on that link, it is going to take you to another great tutorial. Thanks so much.